fellow stampers, this is Yana Smakula for SimonsSaysStamp.com. Welcome back for another Yippee for Yana video. In this episode, I will show you how to create a stunning Christmas card using a background stamp and coordinating stencil for an effortless yet beautiful background. I love how Simon Says Stamp now has not only background stamps and not only stencils, but stencils that actually coordinate with those background stamps. That opens up a lot of creative possibilities and really stretches the use of our supplies. Here I have the beautiful outline winter floral background stamp. I've placed it inside my MISTI stamping tool, and I have added a sheet of ADRIATIC cardstock from Hero Arts. Of course, other colors can be used for this technique. I just happen to love this color of paper, and so I'm using it for nearly every project I make these days. I've treated the paper with anti-static powder to help eliminate static and grease from the paper, and now I'm inking the stamp up using Simon's clear embossing ink. The idea is to heat emboss this background in beautiful color of embossing powder, and then using the stencil and ink blending, add color to select sections. I'm using Simon's antique gold embossing powder. I'm covering the background and next heat setting it with my heat tool to melt the powder. This background stamp is very beautiful and it works really well for the holiday cards. I think it looks both stunning just simply embossed in a pretty color of embossing powder or stamped in black and colored using watercolors or markers. I, for example, don't always feel like coloring, so I appreciate when images look fantastic even without the coloring. Here's a look at this background. I love how the antique gold embossing powder shines on this dark teal cardstock. Next, I'm going to use a set of stencils from Simon. This is Winter Floral Layering Set. I actually am only going to use one stencil from here, the one with the flowers. When using all four, you can add color to every section of this stamped image. However, I want to color just parts of it, and so I'm using just one stencil. You can use the stencils by themselves also. You don't have to use them together with the background stamp. I'm going to use ink blending as a fast coloring method. After positioning the stencil on the background and aligning it with the flower, I'm using my ink blending tool in dark blue ink to add shading and color to the flowers. I'm using Hero Arts navy ink. I've actually misplaced my full-size navy ink pad, so I'm using the navy portion of the Pool to Navy Ombre ink pad, which is also from Hero Arts. Now imagine doing this in another color. For example, you have a light pink background and ink blend the flowers with a darker pink or even red. Or you can use white cardstock for your base and color every section using various colors of ink. The set of stencils easily allows you to do that. And of course, you can always color the background using traditional mediums, skipping using the stencils. Having colored the background, or rather ink blended the background, I'm trimming it to size. I'm making an A2 card, so I'm cutting it to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and this will make the front of my card. I want to add a bit of shine and sparkle to this background, so I'm using my Tonic Studios Aqua Shimmer Pen and adding shimmer over the ink blended sections and also onto the leaves. This adds a really nice touch of shimmer and sparkle to this card and makes it festive. To create a sentiment, I've decided to combine stamping with stickers. I want to spell a first word of a sentiment using puffy stickers and heat emboss the rest in the same antique gold embossing powder. The sentiment I picked reads Warm Holiday Greetings. I'm going to heat emboss Holiday Greetings and it will add warm using letter stickers. This sentiment comes from the Tiny Words Christmas stamp set. I have positioned the stamp on my clear block and I've used the grid lines of the block to align the stamp, being mindful that I'm not using the word warm. I could have masked it or I could have cut it off, but it was just easier to simply ignore it, if you will. Next, I'm inking the stamp up like so. I'm placing the stamp on the ink pad, but making sure not to ink up the word warm. And then I'm stamping this onto the paper. This is Simon's Fog cardstock. I've stamped it. I made sure it was centered on the panel. again disregarding the first word, and now I'm covering everything with Antique Gold embossing powder and heat setting it with my heat tool. Now I can add the word warm using stickers. These puffy stickers are amazing. I really love the gold foil finish on these. They were included in one of Simon's recent card kits, but they are also available separately in the Simon's store. I trimmed this panel down slightly and next adhered it onto a piece of mirror cardstock from Tim Holtz to give it a bit of a frame. Now this paper was also included in one of the kits, but again is available separately. It's very beautiful and works well for both fall and Christmas projects. Next, I'm adhering the background to A2 white top folding card base and going to use foam adhesive to foam mount the sentiment panel on top. There are many different placement options and I have debated where to add the sentiment for a few minutes. I wanted to include this portion of the video to show you various options. I ended up placing it closer towards the bottom of the panel. Finally, I used gold confetti from Simon and scattered them around the card going diagonally from the top right to the bottom left corners. If you like to add additional accents, you can use a white pen, for example, to color the berries white or maybe red. Here's a test background I did where I added the white coloring. This background stamp and stencils are very versatile tools and I look forward to using them again and again in my crafting. And I hope you do too. If you make a card inspired by this video, we'd love it if you shared your project online and tagged us on social media. We always enjoy seeing what you make. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet done so. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye!